so comfortable.
Why? You should be in
Just need to shake him.
You should be in prison. We bailed you out. We bailed you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You facing charges.
So ranking the young balls, the criteria for this is any player younger than 21 or who had their breakthrough season recently. Judging on potential, output and consistency. What have they shown us so far? How much better we believe they can get, or how long they have performed at the high level. So who would like to go first?
Starting with number 5.
Yeah.
I think what all mine share is what all my candidates share is that you forget their age, so you don't remember how old they actually are, and then you're like, wow. So in some cases you'll be like, right, so this person's this young. It's very, very tight.
I've chest, man.
No, it's very, very tight. Like, I'm rattled because you're thinking, all right. So number 5.
He is hard though.
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
Number 5, Declan Rice, 21 years old. Here's why, and it was very difficult for me to put Declan Rice in there because you think he's not young though. Declan Rice, 21.
Young boy.
He's been around for a couple seasons now, and captains West Ham on a regular. Captains West Ham on a regular.
Here's what I like.
Captains West Ham on a regular, and he's playing a position that is not. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy to play DM.
I'm gonna tell you.
And he's improved.
I'm gonna tell you why I like it. I like that decision, but I'm going to also tell you why I don't like that decision. He's a young boy, as you said. He started as a centre back, but moved into DM. There's still questions about whether what position he's gonna end up in. He's performed very well at DM. Last season, I feel like he was a bit overrated. I feel like he still has more things to add to his game, 100%. And people were already touting him for the big baby. This season, he's taken another step up.
Yeah.
Because now I see him dribble with the ball. I see him breaking up play. He's a lot more mobile. So I like in that sense. But at the same time, now we talk about his ceiling and how much further he can go, how much more he can add to his game. I'm not sure how much more he can add to his game. He's got he's got a long shot in him. I've seen him score a couple goals. I'm not saying that you require that from a defensive midfielder, but as I said, how much more can he add to his game? I'm not saying he's at his peak.
No, I 100% agree with you, because that's why he's my number 5 and not any higher.
He was on the prefaces.
He was on the fringe of making number 5. I don't want to say it because we'll spoil it for the rest.
Yeah, say less.
You get?
My number 5. Been tracking this player for a while.
Who are you? Huh? What do you mean you've been tracking?
I track my players, G. I track my players. This one, again, another versatile one, which has played a couple of different positions. I think his position is a lot more solid and set in stone than others, though. He's a right back that has shown that he can do both sides of the game very well. He's locked up. It was when I saw him last season, he locked up Wilfried Zaha. He's one of the trickier wingers to face. But he looked like I was sad when I saw him lock him up, because Zaha's my guy, but he locked him up with ease. It's Reece James in number 5, because going back defensively and going forward he's got a cross in him. Not like Trent, but at the same time, if he puts it into the box, he's going to put it into a good area. And defensively, he's a big sturdy boy. Only 21, but he's a big sturdy. It's not easy to get around him. He's not at his peak defensively yet, as you wouldn't expect him to at 21. But I feel like he's got a higher ceiling to be one of the best right backs in the game in the future. So yeah, Reece James at number 5.
Number 4, for every reason Banks just said, Reece James.
I like that.
Reece James at number 4. It's very hard to knock him. Doesn't have a. Again, I think he'll only get better. This is why he's above Declan Rice, but he's above Declan Rice for 2 reasons. He plays for Chelsea, and I believe he has a higher ceiling. He doesn't really have any flaws. Yeah, for everything you just said, very, very competent, very, very sturdy. And the future will be bright for you if you have him in your team. So he's my number 4. 21 years of age as well. Level-headed boy. Yeah, level-headed.
That's good in this community as well.
Does his good for the community, you know, does his charity work and stuff, yeah. Good role model to the kids as well.
What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for him?
That's the face of a club right
Good
there.
English fullback. What more can you ask? Who's your number 4?
Number 4, a lot of Arsenal fans have based their opinion on their centre back based on this guy, the way he's come into the Premier League, the way he's adjusted seamlessly. Again, another well-built young man. He's only 19 or 20? 19. He's only 19. He's come into that Leicester backline. Sionku was injured. Sionku was a big part of their good run last season. Everyone was thinking, wow, they're going to ask this young boy to step into the backline and play a major part. And there was a bit of worry because, I mean, transitioning from League 1 into the Premier League, not everyone can do it. Nicolas Pepe, one example recently where the transition just wasn't as smooth. But this young boy by the name of Fofana, he's come in and it's been so smooth. It's been so smooth. He's been caught out a couple of times, but as a youngster, you're going to allow that. But for the majority of the games, he's been liquid. You know when it's just smooth, it's just smooth. You just come in. When you've got the physical capabilities and the brain to be in the right position as well, it's very real Ferdinand. Like I watch him and I think I'm not gonna say he's gonna reach the same heights, but I watch him at the same time and the way he can get across and be in the right position is very real Ferdinand. Like so, I'm gonna have Wesley Fofana number 4.
Okay. It's getting a bit tight now.
Yeah, this is where
mid. Even as I'm reading them, it's like except for my first two, it's like I'm making them up at the time because I've changed it a couple of times and now I'm thinking right, I've left myself not enough space, 3 positions for 4 people, so someone's got to come out. Number three. Oh man. Okay. For reasons. I'm gonna do it. For reasons. Yeah. Alright. Number 3.
with cojones.
No. Number 3. Lamptey.
Lamptey.
Yeah,
Oh
number
no.
3, Lamptey.
You've had a mare there.
Number 3. Lamptey.
You've had a mare
Number
there.
3. Lamptey. For number 3. Lamptey.
I know you like Lamptey, but you think he's got better potential than Reece James?
Yeah.
He has not.
I think so. I think
he has not.
Only because of size.
Oh, literally, that's a big thing though.
No, but
that's a big thing.
Skill and technique is another thing. Because going forward, Lamptey's scary still.
Lamptey
forward, he's scary.
Lamptey
he's
offers
literally like
a
a
lot.
winger playing right back, and he can defend.
He can, but at the same time, Chelsea made the right decision not selling Reece James and letting go of Lamptey. Lamptey, if you could keep both of them, you do it. But at the same time, if you've got to sell one of them, you sell Lamptey. As you
He's
say,
smaller.
Not just because he's smaller.
So
not
what?
Not just because he's smaller. Obviously, you said with the dribbling as well.
Because of what?
Because of what?
Because he's just as good as a defender of him, even better attacker. So because of what?
He's not better. He's not a better defender than Reece James.
I said he's just as good as a defender. Yeah, he is.
He's got that. Right now he's got that Aaron Wan-Bissaka in a way he can go for a tackle. He can go for a tackle and he'll win the tackle, but he gets caught out in space. That's one thing about him right now that is kind of as I said, he's still a young boy.
Be taught, though.
It can definitely be taught, but at the same time, I look at what Reece James brings to the table because Reece James got a strike on him, he's got a cross on him, and can defend. He's got higher potential than Tariq Lamptey. As good as I think Tariq Lamptey is, I feel like you've had a mare there, son. I feel
number
like
3.
You've had a mare.
Number 3.
My number 3. He's such a talented young boy. That you just look at him and you think he's another one that you look at him and his game belies his age. What is he? I think he's 19 now. I think he's 19. 19 and he takes the game by the scruff of the neck. In a team that hasn't played well this season. But he hasn't let that affect him. He doesn't let that affect his performance. He still goes out there every time and he just says, you know what? Maybe we're going to lose, but I'm not going to decrease my transfer value. I'm not going to do that. Bukayo Saka, God's child, I put him at number 3.
Yeah, it's just turned 19.
Just turned 19, as I say.
Number 3.
Put him at number 3. Put him at number 3 because the way he's been performing now belies his age. You had him higher, didn't you? Of course you had him higher. Of course you did. Of course you did.
Then.
Mr. Tariq Lamptey. As I said, Bukayo Saka, bloody star boy, he's going to be amazing. But yeah, number 3 for me.
Right. It's a bit of a wild card, but with reasons. This player, when we was doing this, you forget his age, and pretty much the whole team you forget their age. They're next level player. Got a lot of potential. Obviously, still a little bit raw, But you look at him in the team and you feel like this guy's actually a big player. There's no way he can be this age. He's there because solely for that reason. Obviously, he's not at such a high team, but I feel like he's got a higher he's got a serious ceiling. And from what he's shown so far, like I said, he's shown that he's an older player. You'd think he was 25 years old. Yeah. Pedro Neto, number 2.
I don't know who I was saying.
Pedro Neto, number 2. Pedro Neto's 20 years old. And with all due respect, I don't believe anybody would have thought Pedro Neto was just turned 20 years old. That is scary. If he was at another club, the way we'd be raving about him let's be fair, if he was at another club, the way we'd be raving about him would be next level. He's performed at a higher level than some other people we speak about.
I feel
and that's because they're at other clubs. Yeah. That's because they're at other clubs. I can't lie to you. When we speak about Podence, we speak about, they have Podence, Jimenez and Neto. Neto's 20. Podence is like 25 or 26.
Alright, so
obviously Podence is better than Neto, but
I'm gonna explain to you why you've had him here. I'm gonna explain to you why you've had him here. Neto, as you said, has been very good, but he's also been inconsistent. Pedro Neto, he's had very good games. He's had very good games. Especially after now Yotta's left, he's had to take on even more of the mantle. Raul Jimenez injured, he's had to take on even more of the mantle. But he's inconsistent as well. Like I don't feel like the players we've talked about so far, he probably doesn't get away with, and he gets eased off the ball. I even think back to the Man United match, like some of the dribbles he made there was just like it was a bit easier to defend against him. So, as I say, I don't rank him that high. I don't rank him that high to put him in my number 5.
Wow. And that's bias.
That's bias.
Yeah. So
what bias is that? What bias is that?
Because you have to squeeze other people in there.
You think?
Go on. Number 2. Who's your number 2?
My number 2 is a young boy that that claps goals for fun. He does. He scores goals. That's one thing about him. That's one thing. Left foot, right foot. He's gonna score goals. You just don't. You haven't seen this sort of finishing from such a young player. You haven't seen it.
Foden.
No, not Foden. Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood. He's had a tough start to the 2020-2021 season.
Before you were talking about consistency with Neto, but you can't come and give me that.
No, because he showed it all last season. He did not show.
So do you think the games that Neto's played well, if we get Neto's games where he played well and Greenwood's games where he played well, and you get the ones where they haven't played well, you think Mason Greenwood's would be a lot less than Neto's?
Mason Greenwood's got a larger sample size, so you'd probably see more games where he hasn't played well. But at the same time, we're talking about a youngster that scored 10 goals in the Premier League last season, 17 goals in all competition. That's a youngster that knows where the back of the net is. How many youngsters can you talk about like that? That can talk about show him onto his right foot, no problem. Show him onto his left foot, no problem. How many?
No, but
how many can you talk? You can't.
No, but what I'm getting to is you disputed Neto because you said of inconsistency.
Yeah.
Do you think Greenwood is consistent?
He has been consistent in the past. As I said, this season he's had a tough start to the season. But as we say, it's not only it's the ceiling as well that we're talking about.
So you feel like Neto has a lower ceiling?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because
you're taking the piss.
You think Neto's got a higher ceiling than Greenwood?
I'm not saying. I think so. Honestly speaking.
We're talking about our players. Fast, can finish on both feet. Such a competent finisher at such a young age. You think that player's not going to score goals in the Premier League?
He is going to score goals.
He is going to score goals in the Premier League.
It's not just about
Well, I'm talking about the ceiling. Like, what level do you feel like he can go to?
Greenwood, where does he go? Like, he plays well. Like, do you think he can go? Where does Greenwood go after that?
Huh?
Where does Greenwood go after United? Like, where does Greenwood
go after United? Where does he have to go? Why does he have to leave United? He doesn't play for Wolves. He doesn't play for Wolves.
I can't lie. I don't think Greenwood's ceiling's higher than Neto, but it's your list for a reason. It's your list for a reason. And as most of you know, let me do my number 1. As most of you know, God's child, number 1, undoubtedly, most consistent youngster. Continues to break barriers, continues to prove doubters wrong. When he first came in, they were saying, is he better than... You can't put me in a box because of my age. Can play in the most useful youngster, or one of the most useful players in the Premier League. Not even youngster, most useful players in the Premier League. Can play a range of positions. intelligent. When making for his age, his maturity when it comes to decision making is unmatched. And it's not as simple as just he gets the goals. It's not as simple as that. Oh, he can just play this position. It's just what he does in those positions, and it's just. His utility is crazy. I don't know how you can put him number 3. I don't know how you can put Greenwood above him. I don't know. He's every manager's dream. Every manager's dream, and that is a player he can hold it down in several positions. He's a player that when he gets on the ball, he's not really gonna panic. He can beat a man as well. Well behaved. Love a well behaved player. Like it all matters, man. It all matters, and for you to go and put him third. Is actually quite disrespectful. It's actually quite rude.
You're not gonna get Bukayo Saka slander out of me.
No,
you're not gonna get Bukayo Saka slander out of me. But at the same time, even in the games that he's played so far, he's been excellent. But at the same time,
so why
in the same breath, you can still pick out the flaws in this game.
Yeah, you can pick up the finishing.
The finishing, sometimes the decision making.
No.
Always makes the right decision.
Yes. More or less. No player in the world always makes the right decision. So
okay,
if
that's fair enough.
That's not what you're going to say. But his decision making compared to a lot of pro adults in this league is higher than anyone on this list. Bukayo Saka, all you can dispute is his finishing, and that can be worked on. But he has a higher ceiling than anyone you've put on this. So you to put him third probably pissed me off. It probably pissed me off because I feel like
I understand why.
You know why? Do you remember in the chat when we did this discussion, and Chim and Grant said Greenwood's better, but obviously Greenwood was on great form. What your decision was, you thought like what they said is that he has a better talent, he's faster, he can beat him and he can finish. But now we're talking about ceilings. And now we're talking.
Greenwood's got
No, it's not. No, it's not. We're talking about ceilings. We're talking about who looks young, who looks more mature. It's definitely Saka. Fair enough, Greenwood's stronger, maybe physically, and it's not necessarily saying Saka's weak, but Saka, better player than higher ceiling.
End of the day, we've done.
Who's your number one?
My number one is Phil Foden. Naturally.
No.
Naturally.
No.
He's naturally
no.
Phil Foden.
No.
He's naturally Phil Foden.
I'm not having it.
Because he does everything you say Saka does already. And he's been doing it since last season as well. And he can continue to grow.
Foden ain't got a lot in his catalogue. If Phil Foden wants to grow, he leaves that club.
No, I feel like he can still grow at City. Phil Foden is, when we talk about the best under 21 talents, is naturally Phil Foden that's going to be at the top of this list because you talk about someone that's got it all. It's him. He's got a strike on him. He's got the dribbling. He's got the thinking power as well. He's got the thinking power that makes.
He doesn't play.
Doesn't matter.
He doesn't play.
Matter. It's not. He does play.
He doesn't play.
He does play. As I say, he should definitely be playing.
Foden didn't make my list because he don't play.
He should definitely be playing a lot more. But at the same time, it's not only about what you're doing right now, is it? It's not. You said it's not only about what you're doing right now. It's about how far you can go in the future as well. I thought them will go to the very top, whether it's at City or somewhere else. It doesn't matter.
You said he should stay at City.
I said he can stay at City.
And he's got to leave City because Pep's not going to play him.
Pep's not going to be there forever.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't agree with putting Foden number one. We all know he's a talent, but it's a bit like back in the day when you're saying, yeah, this person has potential to do it, so they're better than this person, but they're just not getting put in the right positions, or they keep getting. But for the example I'm going to use, he kept getting injured and he wasn't trusted his position. Remember when we was having the Chamberlain-Sterling debate? Back in the day when everyone was like, Chamberlain's actually better than Raheem Sterling. But if you're not actually getting put in the positions to do what you're better than at him, then how can we keep saying that? Potential's all well and good. The same thing we say about Martial. When they said Martial's better than certain people. It's potential. What are we going to do with that? You're not playing as he was playing. He just proved that he couldn't meet his potential right now. But I'm saying,
if you put Phil Foden into this Arsenal
side, it's a big if.
If you put Phil Foden into this Arsenal side, do you think he does something similar to what Bukayo Saka is doing right now?
Yeah.
So what's your issue?
It's an if.
What's your issue?
It's just an if. You have to. He's not playing.
But we're not only talking about what he's doing right now.
Yeah, but we're taking everything in doses.
Right.
You have to take in what he's given us so far. At what level? Other people, what they've given us. Their ceilings. His ceiling's one of the highest. undoubtedly, but you're not playing, and everyone's gonna go past you because all your age mates are playing in their respective clubs and they're getting better, but you're training and playing with the under-23s and watching the game from the bench. There's only so much watching you can do. You need to start playing, and you're not gonna be young forever. There's gonna be another.
I agree.
So
with you. I agree.
You
with
put
you
him
to, I
number
agree
one.
With you to that
You should have
extent.
paid respect. You should have paid respect to the people playing and made him number 5.
To an extent where he needs to be playing games.
How many games he played this season?
10.
10 Prem games. Foden's played 10 Prem games.
10 out of 16.
He played 10 Prem games.
That's not bad.
He has 10 appearances. And then what has he done this season? What's he done this season then? Because I'm even shocked he has 10 because I thought he hasn't been playing at all. What's he done this season?
As I say.
No. I'm not having this because.
Oh, so it's only based on what? Wait, it's
1 assist.
2 goals, 1 assist. So it's only based on what you do this season.
No, but
it's only.
On that, Pedro Neto has
Pedro Neto is.
4 goals for the
That's what
season.
I'm saying. If we're basing it, because you said then he's inconsistent.
That's not inconsistent.
He's
It's not
played
all
10
about
games.
goals. It's not
No,
all
it's not
about
about
goals.
goals. I'm not saying it's about goals and assists. He used goals and assists. He brought that to the argument.
You said what? You said what has he done
this season?
He's had good performances.
In which games?
I'm not gonna bring up games.
Because you don't have no
Off the top
games.
of my-
Obviously, I'm not trying to put you on the spot to make you think of games, but I'm saying if Foden was as good as he says he's, because if you're saying he's number 1, he's been as good as everyone you've put him above. We ain't got no Foden highlights of recent times, and I know it's not just recent times we're trying to use, but you use the point of inconsistency for Neto. Do you get?
Yeah.
So that means Foden too is inconsistent.
But we've got a larger sample size for Foden. We've seen him since he was 18.
How old's Foden now? 21.
20.
20.
Boy. Anyway, I'm not saying Foden's not good. I'm just saying you can't pick and choose when you want to use certain parameters for certain players.
You are now listening to The Final Third.
I think Pepe's so coachable.
Wow, you should be in
Just need to shake him.
You should be in prison. We build you out. We build you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You facing charges.